The problem is, with everything the governor says, there are questions that arise. I have a very specific question, Governor.
Can I request,
On
Senator?
that infrastructure alone.
Only?
Yes.
Okay. Because I want to be fair to the guests who have also been here.
Absolutely. And
yes.
Chair, you should remember that I am representing these people. So the questions I'm asking are not for Sifuna. I don't stay in Woodley. Governor, when we had this conversation last time about the joint ventures and how we determine how much allocation of houses the county gets, we only made reference to the cost of the land. But if indeed this agreement puts responsibility for critical infrastructure, including those public utilities, on the county government, because an estate, a home, is not just a building. All these amenities are also part of what makes the place livable. If indeed, then the cost of doing water, sewage, public roads, and other utilities I've seen here under clause 23C is on the responsibility of the county government, shouldn't you then get more units in terms of the additional cost that makes this place a livable estate? Otherwise, in my view, if you are a developer of a house, you cannot just build a house and leave and say we are selling units. You need access to water, you need access to that road infrastructure, you need access to sewerage. What would you say about that? As in, shouldn't we be getting more units given the fact that we as a people of Nairobi now have to pay that cost to make that estate livable?
In an ideal situation, yes, but all on-site infrastructure is covered by the developer, or including where they're doing a school or a social hall, etc. But the off-site infrastructure then comes back to the county government. That is the arrangement. But I'll allow the chief officer to get into more of those details.
Governor, I would advise, because some of us also are engaged in some of these urban planning issues. I would advise that some of these questions, if perhaps there's no concrete answer to them, just take them as feedback. Because my question was very, very specific on the integration of those infrastructure. And that's why you see Senator Sifuna would then have to ask more questions, even in that question that you've given, because that integration concept is not about just the investment that has made holistically in the city. Is how are these integration considered at this development planning phase? Because if, for example, what Senator Sifuna is asking, if you're going to have a developer who's going to benefit from the infrastructure that you've put as a county, it's an investment you've made. And you need to have a value of the cost of investment that is there, so that your share must then be bolstered based on the contribution that you're making with that investment. But that I'll leave that for another time, because I know that I really want to hear. So can you just perhaps take a note, and then you'll be able to add them when we have added from the
Chair.
Or Senator, I can give you 1 minute, and then
Chair,
and then
my
we'll go
mic
this
has been on for a long time. It's a direct question, really, and a simple one. It's not every time that you have the governor of Nairobi here. These buildings are coming up every day, even before he does what he's doing. The buildings are coming up in Nairobi every day. All of them are feeding on the same sewer system, the same infrastructure that was established those years. Maybe the question that the people in Nairobi would also want to hear is, I've heard of some development taking place this side of the city. But the biggest population, I think, is on the other side, Eastlands, Pumwani, Embakasi, that side. What are we doing about that sewer system, especially the sewer system? Every time you drive around that place, past sewer all the time.
Chair, we can have a substantive meeting on all the water and sewer projects we're doing in the county. There are very, very many, including some that we launched during the tour we had a few weeks ago. There are very many, done by Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company, being undertaken by the county government, being undertaken by Athi Water. So I'll be very open to come and give you a breakdown of all of those projects. Of sewer expansion, recently we're doing Umoja, sewer expansion, we're doing some in Eastlands. And the water, that's what I was explaining, the first problem has been just the sheer quantity that is needed vis-a-vis how we're working to increase the quantity. that then is received from Nairobi. So I'm very happy, Chair, on a substantive discussion.
Just how these facilities are integrated to the entire development. That's the biggest concern we have.